AVS Media Demo.
Papa Hotel Lima Echo November radio check.
Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Side 2 with me, Speech of Anthony. On this video we're going to cover our first compilation album of the series. Then came rock and roll. We picked this double album up at the Earl boot sale, the very same boot sale we picked up our haul of 250 records for £5. So yeah, it was a good day. You know, we found this particular number lying in a box with a couple of other records, which I duly relieved the stall holder of, much to her delight. It was different because not just did it only cost me 10 pence, but the fact that it was still this rapper. It had never been listened to. It was as new. It was new. The same condition it was 30 some years ago when it was released in 1984. And I was excited. Not just because of the period of music, because I quite enjoy the American 50s and 60s rock and roll musical period, but the fact of it's one of the few times that I've had the opportunity to listen to a piece of older music which has never been listened to, and being able to hear it as it would have been back then for many other people. So it was quite exciting for me. What can I tell you about it? Well, it's a double compilation album, as I've said. It's got 36 tracks from all the greats, from Buddy Holly to Fats Domino to Bill Haley and the Comets to Jerry Lee Lewis. They're all in there. And that's just a few of them. There's a lot more in there. But I'm not going to bore you with all that. And all the classics are in there. Johnny B. Good, Tutti Frutti, Rockin' Around the Clock. They're all in there. Any song you associate with that period, they're on there. You know, there is 36 tracks and there is not a dud amongst them. And I'm not kidding, man. You know, I don't tend to overestimate things, and you'll see that in the next couple of episodes. So we've got plenty of where we're talking about records I don't actually enjoy that I've picked up. This record, in terms of its track listing, is almost faultless. It's one hit after the next, And what's great about this period of time, these pieces of music we played that often, and they've been sampled in movies and in advertisements, that even the ones where I didn't know the titles of it, you know, once you played it, you knew the song. You know, and I would say that anyone who listens to this album probably knows at least one line from every single song, all 36 of them. And you know, I stood and listened to the record. I couldn't sit down. It's that kind of music. It keeps you up on your feet. And if you're not really dancing, I was dancing a little bit, it keeps you standing. You're tapping your feet and you click your fingers. It's got that energy about it. It calls to your body as well as to your mind. You know, you couldn't sit there in your chair. Well, I guess you could sit in your chair, but it draws you to your feet. And when you think of the period in which it came out, that's exactly what it was designed to do. It came out in a period of depression in America following the World War II, and you know, just like you've seen on TV series like Happy Days, you know, it was all the rah-rah skirts and the leather jackets, and it was all about young people, and it was trying to empower young people and give them a sense of hope in what was obviously difficult times with high unemployment, you know, and people were worried, and you had the Cold War setting in, and this was almost like the music industry's answer to that. You know, whether directly or indirectly, they helped raise the morale of the entire country. And I think that's why when you listen to it, each song is a band track, you know, and you've got a lot of instruments playing in the background, and it's a high tempo, and I think it's that combination that it builds that excitement when you listen to it, and it's very satisfying and gratifying to feel that energy coming out through your turntable, and you're absorbing it, and you're being absorbed into it. You know, it's an experience to listen to. I stood by my turntable and listened to all 4 sides. I couldn't sit down. I thought, this is too good to waste even a second sitting down. I didn't want to, you know, interrupt the sound by creaking down into a chair. I had to be standing there to enjoy it, and it had to be turned up. What is really also great is the presentation. Well, obviously it was new, but what's great is when you open it inside, you get biographies of all the artists, and that you don't always see. But what I found particularly refreshing was you got an honest biography. You got the rise to fame of individual artists, but then you also got what happened to them afterwards. You know, and usually, you know, in PR speak, they'll polish up people's resumes and they'll forget the bits you don't want to hear about. But this doesn't. You know, it mentions Buddy Holly's death in a plane crash. it mentions Bill Haley's inability to adapt to the changing sound of rock and roll. And it mentions things like Jerry Lee Lewis and his child bride, who happens to also be his cousin, and the scandal that caused when he was touring the UK. It's all in there, and I found that very refreshing as well, and you know, and just added to my enjoyment of the piece. And I think I would definitely recommend this to anyone who was listening. You know, not just because I only paid 10 pence for it, and yeah, I felt it had to be listened to. I know there'll be some people saying, "Mark, come on, you should have kept it in the plastic. You should have sold it. It could have been worth money." But you know what? I don't collect vinyl for money. I don't collect, you know, highly sought after pieces for many, many pounds or many, many dollars wherever you live. You know, I buy things to listen. You know, if I haven't listened to it before, I'll buy it. If it looks interesting to the cover, I'll buy it. If, you know, it's something I've never heard of before and I've never seen, I'll buy it. If I have heard it, I might buy it. You know, if I have heard it, I might not buy it. You know, I have a broad taste, and you know that shows in the records. In fact, something I might work on later on is to, you know, a video about the genres of music I have, because it's wide and varied. I just picked up some heavy metal records and a thrash metal album from a charity shop in town today, part of a haul. And why? Because I hadn't seen them before, and to us they stood out against the typical British crooners like Perry Como and the Scottish country music like the Alexander Brothers. And I just thought, oh, that's different, we'll give it a go, you know. And they cost pennies, you know, it's nothing, but it brings you so much enjoyment. You clean them up, you lay them down, lay that needle down, and you know, the enjoyment is right there. And that's exactly why I do it, and that's exactly why I'm going to keep doing this. So that's really all for this video. I'm not going to go into great detail of all the different songs because there's too many to choose from. You know, from Tutti Frutti to Johnny Be Good to Rock Around the Clock, or Good Golly Miss Molly, which is one of my favourite tracks. It's just so much energy. I find myself continually singing it, in particular, Good Golly Miss Molly. I was singing that in the shower when I woke my son up. And it's just that kind of pure happiness and enjoyment that this period of time in music brings. And I would strongly urge you, if you haven't listened to any of it, give it a go. Yeah, it's not modern, it's not got loads of post-production, but it's just what music's meant to be. A pick-me-up, you know. Too many people nowadays rely on coffee or a cigarette or alcohol, or, you know, to pick them up. And I think, I'm not saying replace your whole life with music, but there is something in the lost art form of listening to a good record and just having honest, good fun. That's all for this video of side 2, so please like, share and subscribe. As for the next video, we're probably going to look at, for a bit of change, records I picked up that I haven't liked. Because as I've said, I don't necessarily target specific artists all the time that I want to listen to. You know, if I'm out on a hunt, I'll pick up some that I've maybe heard the band, or I've heard the track, or if I've just never heard of it and think, that doesn't look like boring Scottish country dancing, I'll pick that up. I don't always like it. There's not a huge pile, and I have to be honest, I've got a pretty good hit rate, but there is a few, and I think some of them will surprise you. So I'm going to do a video about that. That might be a shorter one, and then I'm going to come back to some first time tracks, because I listened to my first batch of records from the Hall, the Great Hall, and so I'm going to talk about that. And going forward, I want to think about something special or grander to do for episode 10 that's coming up, hopefully in the next week or two. I'll see how it goes. Depends whether my camera backs up again. So, thanks for watching. As I said, like, share and subscribe, and until next time, I'll see you on the other side.
AVS Media Demo.
Papa Hotel Lima Echo November radio check.